everybody, what's up? It is Friday, October 25th, and check it out. Stocks at an all-time record high, at least intraday. We went above the July closing high in the S&P, and chances are, we are going to make new all-time highs, as I told you many, many times. Now remember, folks, there are, within this sort of macro picture that I've been talking about, where really, as you know, the core of my analysis is the leading flows, the fiscal flows, very supportive. And that's why pretty much every economist out there, with the exception of myself and all these market pundits, they've just been scratching their heads saying, don't understand how we can have such a long sustained expansion without recession, and how the market keeps going up, and certain economists talking about bubbles. They're just not aware that if there is enough fiscal support, the economy keeps growing, corporate profits keeps growing, and the stock market reflects that. Not too hard to understand. However, if you want to drill down below that big macro picture, which still is bullish, as you know, we follow these reserve flows from the Treasury into the banking system, then back out to the Treasury. These are tradable phenomena, and there's one coming up around the first of the month, around November 1st. And if you want to get more detail on that, if you want to get some more information on that, you got to go to my website, pitbulleconomics.com. A lot of my subscribers doing extremely well trading off of these short-term flows. And these are very predictable, because they're based on regular patterns of government spending and debt issuance. So, and you know, I've made the analogy with these things that this is like insider trading. I mean, you can't get better insider trading. I've given you an example, or I've spoken in the past about how when I was a floor trader, we'd do everything we possibly could to get to know the big brokers, because we wanted to know what was on their book, what was that deck of orders they were holding. So we got to know the guys who did the orders for Goldman Sachs and Solomon Brothers at the time, and Merrill Lynch and all these big banks, JP Morgan, because when you know what the orders are, you can front run those orders and you can make money in the markets. That's cha-ching, cha-ching, that is printing money. But now you have a legal way to do this, which is based on these reserve flows. And as far as I know, I'm the only one who follows this. I'm the only one who understands this. For example, I mean, you hear a lot of people now talking about the pumping money by the Fed into the banking system. And a lot of the discussion and a lot of the analysis when it comes to this pumping is somehow it's stimulative or expansionary or inflationary. It's not. It has a completely opposite effect, but you have to understand what that effect is. So all this information, by the way, is out there. It's public information. Many of you have purchased my Understanding the Daily Treasury Statement video course. That's on my website at pitbulleconomics.com. That's probably the best financial, monetary / market resource you can get anywhere. That is put out every single day by the government. That is literally a checkbook, the checkbook of the U.S. federal government, which shows on a daily basis, on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis, the billions, tens of billions, hundreds of billions, even trillions. You're going to have information on there if you understand it. I mean, you're going to blow your friends and colleagues' mind when you tell them about it. And of course they're not going to believe you, but then you could show them the data right there. So yeah, we are looking at all-time record highs. The stock market, there's still a lot of negative sentiment entrenched in the stock market. That'll ultimately come out. You'll see a shift at some point way down the road, where now all the headlines have been negative and bearish. At some point down the road, all you'll see is how everything is wonderful and positive, and who knows, by then they might be, they might be putting through a balanced budget amendment or something, which would be a disaster like that. But we got a long way to go before that happens. Oil higher, as I said earlier this week, we had a bullish EIA report. Dollar having a little rally here, but I believe the dollar's trend has reversed. And of course, next week, folks, yeah, let me mention that next week is big. It is huge. Next week, we are going to have, you got the Fed meeting next week. You got the Bank of Canada meeting next week. You got the Bank of Japan meeting next week. We got the job report on Friday. There's going to be a ton of data and events next week. Potentially huge volatility. You have to know what to do. Go to my website, pitbulleconomics.com. Sign up for a 30-day free trial of MMT Trader or Zombie Trading. Have a great weekend, everybody. See you on Monday. Bye-bye.